Our second contestant is Ken Krawchuk. It'll never fly. It'll never fly, Ken Krawchuk.
Who was a little kid once? Hey, so was I, Mr. Contest Master, fellow and future Toastmasters. Remember when you were a little kid, and you go for a drive with your parents on a Sunday or something, and you'd be sitting there in the back seat with a sibling or a friend, and you know how it is with little kids. Sooner or later, you would get in trouble. Now, if your dad was anything like mine, you'd just be driving along. Come on, kids, knock it off. But if you kept it up, I said, knock it off. But if you really push the envelope, come those dreaded words, don't make me stop this car. Am I right? But that was then, and this is now. And how many of you find yourself sitting in the front seat saying those exact same words? Unfortunately, annoying behavior while traveling isn't limited to the back seat of the car. How many of you have been to an airport lately? And go cool, you don't have to raise your hand. Talk about annoying. Long lines of shoeless passengers. Blue glove TSA agents doing pat-downs that would make Lady Gaga blush. And then there are those irradiating scanners that reveal everything. There's something going on in America's backseat. What would it take before you personally decided to do something about it? What would push you over the top? Everyone has their tipping point. Maybe it's the indignity of being treated like a terrorist, or just a basic lack of respect that we see at an airport. What would you do when enough was finally enough? What would you do? Now, most people ask that question, they say, oh, come on, Ken, what can one ordinary individual do against a big behemoth bureaucracy like the TSA? Don't ask me. The person I suggest you ask is Rosa Parks. We all know the story of Rosa Parks, the African-American woman who refused to go to the back of the bus. They arrested her for her bravery, and that arrest triggered off the great Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott. African-Americans refused to ride the bus in support of Rosa Parks. 381 days that boycott lasted, over a year, drove the bus company to the brink of bankruptcy before they finally repealed those Jim Crow laws. 10 years later, the Civil Rights Act was passed. 50 years later, America elected their first African-American president. You tell me, what can one ordinary person do? Lots. But that is then, and this is now. And basic human dignity is once again under assault by a government transportation authority. But what can one ordinary individual do against a behemoth like the TSA? Correction. The question is actually, what can one Toastmaster do? Let me tell you the true story of what this Toastmaster did. A few years ago, they had just introduced those scanners, and a few of us were sitting around grousing about the whole situation. We decided we're going to do something. It's time to stop that car, or more properly, stop that plane. What we did is we declared Thanksgiving Eve, the busiest travel day of the season, to be National Opt-Out Day. We were going to encourage travelers to opt out of air travel in favor of other forms of transportation. We were taking a page out of Rosa Parks' book, trying to hit the airlines financially so that they would change their policies. So we picked a name, We Won't Fly, put up a website, wewon'tfly.com, crossed our fingers, and hoped for the best. Well, our friends were like, you guys are crazy! It'll never fly! Pardon the pun. But the funny thing is, the idea took off. Yeah, pardon the pun. Within a week, we were getting 70,000 hits a day on our website, over 20,000 Facebook followers. Then the phone starts ringing. Local media, statewide media, national media, international media. We were getting calls from Britain, from Brazil, from Japan, from Russia, from Iran. Even Whoopi Goldberg was talking about us on her show. We kept the ball rolling. We organized rallies at 27 airports around the nation. I was the one who organized one at Philadelphia International. Did you see me on TV? I was on ABC, NBC, CBS, C-SPAN, Canadian C-SPAN. And in fact, those 3 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving Eve, it felt like one big, long table tennis contest. Finally, come the big day, Thanksgiving Eve. You go to the bus terminals, jam. You go to the train stations, jam. Go down to Philadelphia International, you hear the crickets. The place was deserted. AAA reported in their survey, 94% of the American population opted out of air travel that day. And a Zogby poll showed that in the beginning of the month, 81% of the people supported the security theater at the airport. And on Thanksgiving Eve, it was 60% against. We had flipped public opinion. Better yet, the TSA blinked. They turned off those pornographic scanners that day, and they also gave people less intrusive pat-downs. But the best news was from the TSA chief himself, who said that basic human dignity will be a factor to be considered in the replacement system. And today, we have scanners that protect human dignity. You know what that means? It means we won! We stopped that car! And they said it would never fly. That's this Toastmasters story. What's your story? What's going on in your back seat? What bus are you being sent to the back of? But more importantly, what are you going to do about it? You're Toastmasters, remember. That means you have unusually strong public speaking skills, the kind it takes to command an international stage. You have unusually strong leadership skills, the kind it takes to organize a nationwide boycott. There's an old proverb that says you don't light a lamp and put it under a bushel basket. You hold that lamp high and you let it shine. My fellow Toastmasters, my mission here today is to remind you of three things. When your back is against the wall, when enough is enough, when it's time to stop that car, remember your Toastmaster training. Remember Rosa Parks. And remember to shine.